Today we're back on the Entitled Parents subreddit and it's going to be so fun. Woke up ready to read some absolutely ridiculous stuff today. And yeah, something tells me we're in the right place for that. Thank you guys so much for all your ongoing support. It means so much to me. And with that being said, enjoy guys. Two kids unzipped my cat's carrier and were reaching inside to pet my cat. This happened a few months ago when I took my cat to a cat show. For those who don't know much about cats, when they aren't being judged, they hang out in large pop-up kennels. It's normal for parents to bring their kids to the cat shows, but this cat show had so many kids running around, it was insane. I've never seen so many kids at a cat show. I have nothing against bringing your children to cat shows, just please stay with them and teach them to respect the cat's personal space. So anyways, my cat was sleeping inside a little cat cave inside of his large pop-up kennel. I went to the bathroom and when I came back, two children had unzipped the kennel and one was petting my cat. Why would anyone ever open a pet carrier and touch a random cat that they don't know? I would never have done that as a child. I don't know where their mum was, but the girl was saying that my cat wanted attention and that's why she unzipped it, but he was still inside his little cat cave that was inside the pop-up kennel. They're lucky I've got a ragdoll cat. They're extremely chill and cuddly and social and known as the puppy of cats. Additionally, my cat volunteers with kids once a week and walks on a leash and vibes with literally everyone. But I can't describe how upset this made me. I want to add that I've never had any issues with kids at any other cat shows except for this one. But another thing is when I was talking to my cat to be judged, a kid was touching his tail and I had a couple of other kids try to ask me to pet him as I was taking him to be judged another time. Also, I had to fuss at some kids who went to another person's pop-up cat carrier and had their hands and faces pressed up against the mesh to see the cats inside, because that's probably very intimidating for the cat. I want to say again that I've never had issues with kids at any other cat shows. I don't know what happened at this one, but for some reason there were so many kids. I'd like to add that most kids did have parents with them and they were behaving well. Yeah, so the kids are like, oh, that's a really cute cat, so I'm gonna pat it. And no one's telling them that they should at least ask before they do that. You know, compared to other entitled parent stuff that we read, this is pretty mild. But yeah, the parent should be telling them, like, you can't just go up and touch every person's pet. If you were asking first, it'd probably be fine. But yeah, how lucky is it that like your cat didn't run away or something? Like they open the carrier and pat the cat and then leave? Yeah, not good. The next one is called Entitled Mum Wants My House as Payment for Marrying Her Daughter. Hey Reddit, this is an ongoing gong show, so I'm putting this here so I can try to make some sense of this. My wife's mum has been a malignant narcissist her entire life, to the point where she ended up not going to our wedding because she didn't want to go to the city that we both live in. I even offered to drive her here and put them up in a nice house for the week of the wedding, and she decided to surprise us with a wedding that she threw on the same day as our wedding without telling us ahead of time. What? Oh my god, they can't handle when people aren't paying attention to them or something. Oh yeah, right, a narcissist. Anyway, after almost a year of not speaking, she and my wife are trying to have a relationship. I'm not in favor because I've seen how she treats my wife, but my wife is a grown-up and I have to support her. A bit over 6 months ago, my parents decided to give us their house, my childhood home, and we've been remodeling it. We moved in earlier this month and my wife, with my blessing, invited her parents to stay over for a week so they could see their grandkids. We have twins, a boy and a girl named Luke and Leia. Do those names have anything to do with Star Wars? And said the city that we live in. Everything went fine until breakfast this morning. When over coffee, my wife's mum, mother-in-law from now on, drops a bombshell on me. Mother-in-law. So, OP, when I had my children, I wanted to have them so someone could take care of them when I got old. There's some history behind this related to why she fought so hard against my wife and I's relationship, but that's another story for another time. Me takes a sip of my coffee, waiting to see where this is going. Mother-in-law. So since you took her away from me, I think you should be responsible for me too. So starting tomorrow, I'm gonna live in your guest room. Oh my god. The room they've been using for the last week. I need you to drive us to their province so we can pick up our things. Genuinely kick them out of your house right now. Me, I don't follow. Mother-in-law. Since you married my daughter, I only have one son to take care of me. It's only fair that since you took her, you now have the responsibility to care for me. My wife. Mum, I think you should pack. Mother-in-law. No, you married this slur for a mixed blood Filipino. I should at least get some benefits. My wife. Mum, that's enough. We invited you to stay for the week so you could meet your grandkids. But now I'm starting to see that this might have been a mistake. Yeah, I think we need to go. I'll take you back to your province, but you are not going to live here. So here's the current situation. Mother-in-law is locked in the guest room packing. What? What's wrong with people? Is this a joke? But we suspect that she's planning to squat in the room. When whenever we knock, she starts to cry hysterically about how she's gonna die old and alone. Yeah, probably if you treat people like this, how my wife is a bad daughter for not supporting her mum, how I'm a bad son-in-law because despite having money and a nice house, I'm not supporting her, etc. I'm on the phone to my cousin, he lives down the street from us, and his dad's a justice in the Supreme Court, so hopefully we can get the police to trespass her, and we're working out a response. Update, so to answer a few questions. 1, the wedding story was a whole different story that I told a bit over a year ago. Number 2, yes, I could have just taken the door off its hinges and called the cops, etc. All solutions that end with my mother-in-law in the news or a police blotter somewhere, and I'd like to avoid that. Just sending her back home is enough to keep her away, since it is pretty far away and she's only been to my city twice, and this is the second time. And number 3, the end of the story isn't as juicy as the story itself. My cousin's father, my uncle, and godfather sent over a police captain who brought 4 police officers with him. The police managed to coax her out of the room and escorted her to the station, where a police vehicle from her province was waiting to bring her and my father-in-law home. Local captain didn't log the incident in the blotter, which keeps it off the books. Well, I can't believe the audacity of some people. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna live in your house because you owe me? No, are you joking? Get the hell out of here. Yeah, that's so unbelievable. At least it's sorted out now. The next one is called Estate Sale Attempted Theft. So, I like going to estate sales when I have some free time. I'm at an estate sale that had other people also shopping, but it wasn't very crowded. So, a girl about 15 or 16 years old was following me around the various rooms pretty close, which was a bit weird because the house wasn't that crowded. If I stopped to look at something or pick something up, as soon as I moved a little bit, she would look at or pick up the same item. A little odd, but nothing too strange. So, I stopped to pick up a vintage purse, but my own purse kept slipping off my shoulder because the shirt I was wearing had a slick texture. So, I took my purse off my shoulder and I set it down directly in front of me on a chest of drawers. The girl reaches in front of me so close that she knocked into my arm and she grabs it. I immediately grabbed the strap, but she didn't let go. We then engaged in a slight tug of war because, hello, I'm not letting my purse get stolen. The girl's mother, who had also been shopping but not particularly close to either of us, begins to loudly state that her daughter picked up the purse first, and under the rules of estate sales, that means that her daughter gets first dibs on it, and for me to let it go. I tell her it's my personal purse, not an item from the estate sale, and I refuse to let it go. The woman keeps on repeating the rules of estate sales like they're royal proclamations, louder and louder, and eventually she's angrily yelling over me. The girl and I are still engaged in a tug of war because I'm not letting my purse get stolen. The mum gets loud enough that 2 employees of the estate sale company come in to see what the ruckus is. The mum keeps giving her royal proclamation that her daughter picked up the purse first and that I'm trying to steal the purse from her. How do they think they're gonna get away with this? One of the employees starts to politely tell the etiquette of estate sales. I listen, and then just as politely, I tell her that this purse isn't an estate sale item and it's my personal purse filled with all of my personal items that I walked into the estate sale with, and I refuse to let the girl steal it from me. The employee asks for both of us to release the purse and let her pick it up. She gets my permission to open it, takes out my wallet and looks at my driver's license. She tells the mum that the purse is mine and it's not for sale and hands it to me. The mum gives a huge humph and grabs her daughter's arm and leaves. No apology or acknowledgement that either she or her daughter were in the wrong. In retrospect, I wonder if the daughter may have had a mental disability, but if she did, it wasn't obvious from my limited interactions with her. I just couldn't believe that the mum was so entitled that she didn't even bother to get the facts or investigate after I told her that the purse was mine. The estate sale people were really nice about it and they apologized even though they did nothing wrong. I even got a 25% discount on the items I bought. Oh no, the mum definitely knew what was going on. They probably try and steal stuff all the time. Yeah, no, there's no way that was an accident, which makes it so much more awful. But yeah, they probably always try to steal stuff. But yeah, that's the stupidest robbery ever. Like, what was their plan? Just to grab it and run away or something? You can't convince somebody that the purse is yours when it obviously isn't. Yeah, that's so frustrating. The next one is called Parents Asking Me to Fly for Cousin Surgery. My mum called me last night saying that my cousin in West Coast is going through a surgery, tentatively next week, midweek, and if I can fly out to be with cousin since cousin doesn't have any other family members with them. Yeah, that's a huge ask. My husband and I are closing on our house this weekend and we need to do a bunch of work, painting and cleaning and floors, purchasing large appliances and furniture, all before we move in. We're trying to sublease the current apartment. We're packing for the move in the meantime, and my husband works in person so he definitely can't fly out. I work remotely and also study for my master's, so I have assignments and lectures every week to keep up. We might need to fly next week for husband's work as well. With all that going on, I'm not sure how I can manage to drop all of these and then be there in person for the surgery. Sure, it's possible, but everything gets delayed on my end, leaving me stretched out emotionally, physically, and financially financially to get my stuff done at the end. Parents talk to cousins' parents, and now they're asking me if I can fly out for their cousin's surgery. So what, they're still asking you to do this? Cousin lives in a dorm in a college town, so I'll need to find a plane ticket, accommodation, car, and other stuff, plus care for cousin, which feels like a lot of unexpected added cost and time right now. Am I being unreasonable with my thinking here? No, absolutely not. This is the most ridiculous ask ever. I don't want to be unkind or not be there for family with support, but I'm looking tight on my end. Also, it feels like my parents are just using me to brag to their sibling how my parents are being there for them without actually flying out there themselves. And if they really wanted to show family support, what would you do here? Note, cousin is an international student here. Cousin's parents' visa just expired, so they can't fly here. I was asked because I'm one of the people closest to cousin in distance, but also not that close. A plane ticket next week will easily cost $800 to $1,000. Oh my god, no, you don't have to do anything. It's such a huge thing to ask of somebody, and it's not rude that you can't do this. If you say no and they don't respect that, that's completely on them. And if they're asking something like this of you, they should already be pretty much expecting that you're not going to be able to do it because it's such a big ask. Like, how could they possibly expect this of you? Yeah, no, definitely say no. And you don't need excuses or nothing. Even if you didn't have that much stuff to do, still 100% if you didn't want to do this, that's completely fine. The next one is called, I'm tempted to finally call it after discovering that my dad cut down the 5-foot hibiscus in my garden. What was the reason? Everyone in my family makes excuses for his constant BS, gives him the benefit of the doubt, calls his actions neurotic instead of more accurately problematic. My one sister is always quick to remind me of his other qualities that make him a good dad if I dare to express and seek some sort of validity in feeling betrayed by how he can treat me. For 34 years, I've tolerated his egregious behavior and I'm deciding if I've hit my limit. But yeah, so he cut down my gorgeous hibiscus like a varsity lunatic. Stole it, maybe? Still wrapping my head around really both the what and the why. Me and my husband and my baby were walking around the yard before bedtime tonight. It was already dark and my husband, who usually is so aloof, noticed my favorite flowering bush was not there. We live in a northern state and we've already got frost, but this sweet miracle of a hardy hibiscus was still flourishing. Perfection. There were 5 open flowers, big beautiful candy swirled blooms, and gone. The whole plant was cut clean at the base. My parents had just left earlier in the afternoon from visiting for a whopping 2 days. They refused to ever stay long, but this was by far their shortest visit, and they live nearly 5 hours away, and they refused to stay at our house, always gets a hotel. So all in all, my baby and I actually got to see them for maybe a combined 3 hours, and mostly my mum. My dad doesn't even participate in quality time. It doesn't serve him, so he stays outside on his phone the whole time and runs errands, or messes with and modifies my garden. He usually just plants more plants and flowers, but he's planted over tulip bulbs before and mowed my wildflowers that weren't fully bloomed because he doesn't ask and doesn't think he needs to. He just does whatever he wants, and if I take issue with it, he responds like I'm an idiot and an ingrate who has a lot of nerve to care about what the garden she tends to summer long looks like and yields, because he's here very briefly 5 times a year and deserves to call those shots about a property that he doesn't own. And if consequentially it actually gives me more work instead of helps me out, well, I'd better eat glass before I mention so. More examples of this in the same spirit. He's taken my car to get a tune-up while I was sleeping without my permission and threw away so much unnecessary paperwork and unused gift card, my husband's one-hitter, a couple of my daughter's toys he said were too dirty to be worth saving, plus gum, pens, and air fresheners that he didn't like the smell of. Because he also got it cleaned, I was to be grateful and not inquire further or act if those terms mattered, or else he's thrown away everything in my fridge that was opened, or not to his standard, i.e. a brand new thing of mayonnaise because it was Kraft instead of Hellmann's, replaced it all, not even close, with better stuff, what he likes. He's taken my dog to get groomed without her proof of rabies vaccination, without me knowing that he was going, because he's only on brand if he doesn't ask. He called me up while I was at work, hollering and cursing about how I need to get my vet to call the groomer stat, because he's too old to be dealing with this kind of horse crap, and I should have her tag updated, and the dog is a pain in the ass, and he doesn't have the time for this. You better believe I did as I was told and probably apologized instead of hanging up on his dizzy ass, as you know a normal adult would when they're infantilized just for existing in someone else's problem. One time when I was visiting them, he decided I was drinking too much coffee, so he replaced the regular coffee grounds with decaf. One evening I saw a decaf bag of coffee in the cereal cabinet, and I was like, ooh, decaf, yay! And I went to make a pot, because I'm an adult who recognizes her biology and doesn't drink caffeine after a certain time. It's as if I've fully grown and been to Earth for 30 plus years. My dad stopped me and chuckled to me and told me I couldn't have it, just kept on saying that it was special controversial, wouldn't fess up to why. My mum told me what he'd done after starting getting agitated that I wouldn't drop it, and when I acted horrified at his actual entitlement to arbitrating my coffee consumption, with basically just a stunned silence, he threw his hands in the air and told me that I gotta take better care of myself while walking out of the room and ending any kind of discussion before it started. I have no idea what my dad cut down the hibiscus for. I didn't even know he was in the garden while he was there. He's so sneaky for no reason. It wasn't even in their car when they left. Did he give it to someone? I truly can't think who. Did he plant it somewhere else? If he wanted a couple of the flowers, I would have without hesitation given him some. Asking for it is beneath him though. I'm not sure how or when I want to inquire what happened to it. I could go on the offense. I could finally disengage once and for all. No warning, no discussion. I think I'm too cut down for that though. It's like he knows I am. Oh god, that's so awful. You can't let them come back to your house anymore. Like 100%, you can't just put up with this. And they left a comment down below of why they put up with this. I think because I feel pity for him and my mum, and I don't want to cause them heartache. They're so old and don't have a lot going on, and I'd feel guilty dealing them such a blow now when they gave me a really great and happy childhood. I feel like that should count for a lot. Even though my dad was slightly dysfunctional back then too, they took really good care of us and exposed us to so many positive experiences and opportunities, and just made us feel really loved. The problem is dad still treats me as if I am a child. It's like he can't update his programming as a parent, and it's gotten more and more problematic the older and more mature I get. He won't evolve in his position, and there's a comment under this. Yeah, but the thing is, he's behaving like a child, and when someone behaves like a child, you need to treat them like a child. Put your foot down, scold him, shame him, belittle him, and make him fear your wrath. Tell him that he can either clean up his act or forget about having any kind of relationship with you, or his grandchildren. Yeah, either way, you 100% need to say something. Like, they can't feel like they can do stuff like this and just get away with it every time. Yeah, good luck with this. The next one's called Sister Passive Aggressive Thinks That the World Revolves Around Her Son. Hi, also, my husband spends a few hours every other week leading a youth group for boys ages 8 to 12 with a couple of other male adults. He does an amazing job. He does fun activities for them, spending hours Googling ideas and planning. He's also one of the leaders who stuck around long term and gotten to know each of the boys. He even uses some of our own funds for these activities, which is totally fine. I love that he volunteers sometime to kiddos that need it. The mother of one of the boys that we call Sister Passive Aggressive because she's passively, or sometimes just downright rude in the group chat that the leaders have with the parents. She's also very active in our local church and acts very holier than thou, hence the sister in her name. Anyway, so my husband texted the group chat a couple of weeks ago letting the parents know the activity is cancelled this week because we're going out of town, and the only other leader who does anything is also going out of town. The other two are so unreliable. They said they wouldn't be showing up either, so activity cancelled. Not a huge deal, right? It's the first time this year that's happened, with the exception of holidays. Sister Passive Aggressive flipped her lid, questioning why they were cancelling the show and how it was so inconvenient for her and her precious little baby boy. She texted each leader individually with her complaints, which I thought was wildly inappropriate. My husband just told her to take it up with the youth organisation who oversees these things, but me being the petty person I am, I want to give her a piece of my mind. My husband is donating lots of time and a bit of money even to make sure that your son has fun, and you're whining due to calling off one activity? Lady, please, she could be at least a little bit grateful. Yeah, like the top comment says, thank you for being so concerned. How about you lead the activity this week? Yeah, oh my god, please tell me you said something like this. Like, oh, you're making a huge deal about this for absolutely no reason. Maybe you can take over. Yeah, and after reading everything we've read today, I'm pretty sure it's time for something wholesome. I love reading about entitled people, but that's enough for today. My brother to his online friends. I gotta go, my pizza's here. One of his online friends, where's my pizza? Everyone laughs. My brother logs out of chat. Me, you know, you could order them a pizza. My brother, what? Me, you know his address. My brother, we live in Canada, they're in the States, so you can order it online and pay with a credit card. 20 minutes later, online friend, how the hell did you get me a pizza from Canada? Oh, that's so cute. I never even thought about this either. Yeah, you can just order your friends a pizza as long as they accept it when it arrives, I suppose. You order them a pizza and they're like, no, this isn't for me. That's so cute though. I'm so happy they did this. My wife makes us put $5 in the find jar every time we make her find something that we can't locate in the house after 13 years of saving. Today we're buying a Ford Explorer. Oh my god, that's amazing. But also, it depends if that's wholesome or not, because they must be asking a lot. And is it a Ford Explorer for them, or are they just buying themselves a Ford Explorer? I'm assuming not. How many goldfish can you fit on your cat before it wakes up? When I first looked at this, I didn't even see a cat at all, and you can barely see one now. But yeah, apparently pretty much as many as you can fit. Sometimes I feel like in the scale of the cosmos, we're so clearly insignificant. And sometimes I think that there's like nothing more significant than us. Yeah, so true, Hank Green. Also, wholesomeness in itself. Didn't Hank Green have cancer and he beat it like somewhat recently? That's incredible. And once again, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more Entitled Parents, make sure you like and subscribe. And the comment of the day goes to Thing1G. I was so worried when I got home and there was no Vincey video. I'm glad you're good. Now time to be infuriated. First of all, hell yeah, time to get infuriated. And yeah, sorry about that. It's usually like an internet problem or something, and the video's just taken so long to upload. But hey, we always get there in the end. And yeah, guys, thank you for watching. It means so much to me. The support is so overwhelming in such a good way, and I'm so grateful and excited for everything to come. And with that being said, make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!